Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2009 classic film Paul Blart Mall Cop. Stars Kevin James, Rainy Rodriguez, a bunch of other people are in this. This is a Happy Madison produced project. Adam Sandler's not in it, he produced it, but Jackie Sandler is in it. So, with all good Happy Madison productions, a lot of the same actors and actresses are in the same thing. They all work very well together. Adam was not in this though, but it's still very much a Happy Madison production. It still has that slapstick comedic feel to it. Certain things has the heart at the end, as they as they all do. Now, this was filmed in the Burlington Mall in Burlington, Massachusetts. Originally, it was supposed to be filmed in a mall in Jersey, but they didn't get the permits for that, so they just moved it to that mall. And majority of it was filmed at that particular mall. One scene in the elevator was filmed somewhere else because that Burlington Mall didn't have that elevator thing. There's been a lot of renovations since then, and I love me a mall, right? I've gone through mall scenes are some of my favorite parts of films. I've worked in many malls. I love that mall culture. Not many malls are surviving. Certain malls, a lot of Simon property malls are still thriving in certain aspects. And this particular Burlington Mall is a Simon mall, Simon Properties Mall. So it's neat to see this type of film, which was filmed February to April 2008. That was my senior year of high school. So, like, it's just cool watching that culture, teens dressed as they were, as we were, and going to the mall with your friends in spring of 2008. That's just, it's how it was, and it's nostalgic on that front. A lot of the stores that you see in this mall don't exist anymore. A lot of Rainforest cafes are not in malls anymore. A lot of Sharper Images are gone. Well, Sharper Image is gone, right? KB Toys is gone. KB Toys was in a deleted scene in this. Didn't make the theatrical cut, but I know there's a deleted scene version of KB Toys scene, which doesn't exist anymore. So, also, like, seeing the old school Bath and Body Works kind of signs in the background, and like just other things, the old school Aeropostale label, seeing the Disney store in the background, those don't exist in malls anymore. It's neat seeing a film filmed in a mall because it's a time period piece. Because it's very hard to fake a mall. A lot of times you have to, if you're having a scene in a mall, you have to have a mall. Of course, you can build a mall as a set, but it's not the same. It doesn't have that same kind of vibe. It doesn't have that same kind of production aspects. Like, it would cost a lot of money to build a fake mall, to film a scene in a mall, as opposed to just filming in a mall and have all the companies in the background and stuff. It's a timepiece. This was filmed February, March, and April of 2008. And it shows it because it's there. All the old signage is there. The kids in their clothes are there and stuff like that, right? Despite the fact that this takes place leading up to Black Friday. So I guess this is a Christmas film because everything is decked out for Christmas. So that mall did have Christmas attire. Technically, holiday season of 2007, then February to April of 2008, it still had Christmas attire to keep up with the plot points. We're leading up to Black Friday. What happens then come Black Friday? It's not technically a Black Friday film, but it's referenced that, yes, Black Friday's coming up. We got to prepare for Black Friday. So Paul Blart plays this mall cop, and so he is training this new mall officer, security officer, Vec. And Rainy Rodriguez is his daughter, and Paul likes this new kiosk girl, Amy, who runs this weave booth. And so it's a matter of what happens then when Vec turns out to be the leader of this heist, and all of these parkour and skateboarder and BMX rider thieves come together to lock them all down, keep hostages in the bank. This is back when banks were in malls too. That was another thing. You don't see a bank in a mall anymore. And just things, right? And what do you do? How do you use your surrounding elements to defeat the bad guys? Well, Paul knocks out this person and locks this person in a tanning bed and puts this person in a closet in a clothing store, stuff, right? Pretending to be a mannequin goalie of the New Jersey Devils and beats somebody with a hockey stick to, get them in another clothing store. It's a sporting goods store. It's very entertaining. It's very comical. It's very theatrical. It reminds me a lot of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure when they go take the historical people to the mall, to the San Dimas, California mall, and they go on their spending spree and their gallivanting through the mall and using the props and stuff around the mall and stuff like that. That's another perfect representation, filmed at that time period, culture representation. That's why malls are cool, because that malls are time capsules. And when you film at a mall and then many decades later you're revisiting the film where it's filmed at, that's what life was like at that point in that mall with those people at that time period wearing those clothes, interacting how they were interacting with the technology they had at the time. Awesome. Cell phones were a thing here, and you didn't have smartphones in this particular time period. The iPhone technically came out in '07, but it wasn't really that popular, like mainstream wise, until a few years later, as slowly people were starting to get to the smartphone aspect. So flip phones, texting manually, typing out the buttons, press 4 for the letter J, stuff like that. Um, that was a thing on these particular devices in this particular film. So the movie itself has a good beginning, a middle, and end. Some scenes are, cheeky, kitschy, if you will, because it's a Happy Madison production. Totally fine. Slapstick humor, whatnot. But I just geek out over this type of film because of that mall aspect, because of the mall aesthetic, because of the mall environment, because of all the liminal space that's there. How is it filled? It's filled with people. It's filled with preparing for Christmas season, despite it being filmed from February to April of 2008. It hits close to home on a nostalgic front, hits close to home on a time period front, and it's a good film. It's a good watch, holds the entertainment. Now, Paul Blart 2 was a sequel that came out 6 years later, very long time after the first one came out. And I have stories about that one. So we're going to watch that next. It's on the list. We're checking it off. Paul Blart 1, Paul Blart Mall Cop 1. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.